Hello, everyone. If you are just joining us, welcome to this year's Education-Led Growth Summit. We have heard from a lot of talented learning leaders today, and hopefully you've taken at least one thing away from a previous session that you have attended. And if you're just joining us, welcome. We're so glad you're here. My name is Audrey, and I'll be your host for today's session. I'm joined by my friends and colleagues, Anderson Campbell and Nicole Woodward. We're going to share some amazing updates about what's coming at Intellum. But before we go there, there's a few housekeeping items I'd like to cover off. First and foremost, this session is being recorded, so you will receive the link to the recording at the end in your inbox. If you need closed captions, those are available to you at the bottom of your screen on the Zoom toolbar. And the chat is open. We would love to hear from you, whether it's you telling us where you're tuning in from or sharing excitement in the chat. We'd love for that to be a live place where you can add commentary and excitement. If you have questions throughout the session, awesome. We want to hear from them, or we want to hear those. So at the bottom of the screen, you'll see a Q&A box. Please send your questions there, and we've dedicated time at the end of the session to go through some of those questions. And lastly, we want this conversation to continue, not just here in this session via the chat, but online. So if you have some exciting takeaways from today's session, please share those on LinkedIn. We will be doing a little bit of a roundup of the different posts that we see. And if you could use the hashtag Education-Led Growth 2025, we would love to share if it's your favorite quote, if it's an aha moment. We want to hear from that. We want to hear from you. So with all of that being said, I am going to now turn it over to Anderson and Nicole to take things away. So Anderson and Nicole, over to you.
All right. Thank you, Audrey. Hello, all. I'm Anderson Campbell. I'm the Director of Product Marketing here, and I'm joined by my colleague, Nicole Woodward. And we'll give you kind of a little deeper introduction on each of us so you know who these talking heads are coming at you for this particular session. As you can see in the slide there, I live out on the west coast of the US in Portland, Oregon, near Portland, Oregon. And I have a dog named Wendell that you can see up in the kind of top right there. He's a boxer. He's awesome. I have two kids that are in college, both at the University of Oregon, SCO Ducks. And as you can tell from my title, I lead product marketing at Intellum. Nicole, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Yes. So I'm a senior solution consultant here at Intellum. I live in the coastal area of Alabama, right on the coast in Daphne. And you can see a quick picture there of my husband. He just retired from the Coast Guard recently, and I've got two wonderful stepdaughters, a dancer and a biologist, two totally separate tracks. They're very different. And we love to go camping. We go off-roading in our Jeep Wrangler. So you'll find us at some Jeep jamborees across the US at different times of the year, and then do some other volunteer work with first generation college students. So very wonderful, great to be here today.
Awesome. Thanks, Nicole. So I'm going to get us oriented a little bit. I just, instead of an agenda slide that kind of covers everything that we're going to cover today, I really wanted to talk more about context. So this is kind of what we'll cover, what we're not going to cover. So you just have an idea going in of the kinds of stuff that you're going to hear from Nicole and I and see from Nicole and I. So today we're really looking at Intellum's product releases in 2025 and what is yet to come from Intellum in 2025. We're going to take a look at how those features deliver value to you as the customer, or if you're a prospect of ours, you can start getting your mind around some of the things that we're doing to make your job easier, whether that's as a content creator or as a platform admin, or even thinking about your own learners. We'll show you some practical ways to benefit from those features, and Nicole is going to do a fantastic job demoing some of these features to you so you can actually kind of see what it looks like in the product, and it's not just going to be all like slide deck slides today, although I do have a few of those. What this is not, this isn't a training webinar, so if you are a user of the Intellum product, we're not going to go deep enough into these different features that you're going to come away knowing how to use it for your specific use case. I think that we will touch on it at a high enough level that you'll get the vision for how to use a particular feature, and you'll see it in action enough that you can go in and probably find your way around to configuring that feature or capability in your specific instance. Also, this isn't a deep dive into each feature. So we're not doing multiple slides on different features and capabilities. We're kind of hitting the high notes here. And it's also not a comprehensive list of everything that we've shipped to date. You can check out our release notes for that, or our monthly product update newsletters, where we go into much more detail about every little thing that we've shipped in the Intellum platform month over month and release over release. So I'm going to start us off kind of calling back to an earlier session from today's summit with our CEO and founder, Chip, and our head of CX, our CXO, Greg. If you didn't check out that session, highly suggest that you go look at the session that Chip and Greg did at the beginning of the ELG session, or the ELG summit today, because it really sets the context for a lot of what we're talking about today in terms of product. Chip and Greg have this really dynamic conversation about Intellum's product strategy, including our AI vision, which you'll see is a theme that will come up over and over today as we talk about the features and capabilities that we've shipped in 2025 and what's to come next. In that conversation, the two of them talk about the three personas that Intellum always has in mind when we are building product. And that is the creator, the manager, and the learner. For creators, the challenge that we're trying to help solve for here is that we know that authoring engaging, high quality content remains a significant challenge for organizations. It is really a lot of work to be an expert in instructional design and in learning science and translate that into the content that you're creating. So we want to help you enable rapid, scalable content creation that maintains a high bar when it comes to quality. So that's what we're thinking about when we're thinking about content creators. Similarly, for managers or program administrators, we know that the Intellum learning system, our learning platform, is incredibly powerful, but that it can become complex for busy admins. It's a tool that takes some time to learn and to harness all of the power that is within that tool. And so the thing that we're always thinking through with our managers, that manager persona, is how do we simplify that admin experience so that you can come into the tool, you can get out of it the tasks or the reporting or the high level or detailed views that you need to get out of that admin experience in the most efficient manner possible. So how do we help you reduce your steps to accomplish your goals? And then we're always thinking about your learners. We think that we provide the best learner experience, bar none, for any LMS that is on the market. But we realize that the challenge to your learners is how do you help them to continue to find the most efficient pathways to achieve their goals? How do you help surface for them the right learning at the right time? So that's the challenge that we're always thinking about with the learners. And I think that you'll see that we've released some things today to date and have planned some stuff on our roadmap that addresses that challenge specifically. And I think that the high level thing that you heard from Chip and Greg earlier, again, if you didn't hear it, go back and watch this one. It's excellent. Is that we are in the midst of a rebuild of the Intellum platform and our content authoring solution Evolve, rebuilding both from the ground up so that they can be AI first. And for us, this really means four things. One is it means a creator experience that enables meaningful generative AI use within the content creation process, management areas that support natural language administration, a learner experience that's designed around this concept or idea of a persistent tutor, and then an underlying data layer that helps to unlock AI agentic capabilities. But we're not waiting around until we finish off all that work to get it into your hands. And that's really what a lot of the content we're going to look at today is what are those building blocks and those pieces that we're shipping as they have been ready in 2025 that are culminating in this grander vision we have for a completely rebuilt and re-architected Intellum Evolve and Intellum LMS. And so the balance of our time today is going to really break down into those three different personas, the creator experience, the manager experience, and the learner experience, and then look at the product that has shipped to date that supports each of those experiences. So we'll start with that create experience. And when we think about content creation within Intellum products, there are really kind of two buckets that we can put that in. Within the Intellum LMS itself, there are content authoring capabilities. So you can build out content natively within the Intellum platform. And that's often a place that people start and are able to quickly create well-structured content, multimedia content that you serve to learners directly in the Intellum platform. The other thing that Intellum offers is a standalone tool called Intellum Evolve. And if you're familiar with tools like Rise or Storyline or Captivate, right, these are all authoring tools that kind of stand alone. And usually what you do, and you can do this in Evolve, is you author this really rich content and then you package it up as a SCORM package or XAPI, and then you move that over to your LMS and you serve it within the LMS. One of the great things about Evolve is because Intellum owns Evolve, is we have a direct integration with the Intellum platform, allowing for much richer delivery of content and much richer learner level tracking for interactions with the course that goes much deeper than SCORM. And we have made updates to both of those experiences, both the Intellum Evolve, which we'll go to in just a minute, and then the content creation experience native to the Intellum platform. So we'll start with Evolve, because just last week we launched an all new, completely rebuilt Evolve. The work that we've been doing over the past year for Evolve kind of culminated in a launch. In fact, we had a launch event and launch webinar for Evolve just last week, where I'm going to spend kind of high level a couple minutes on this slide. If you want to learn more about Evolve, I would highly suggest you go check out that webinar, and maybe we can provide the link for that webinar in the chat here in just a moment. But that webinar includes Audrey as the host, who you met at the top of our session together, and the product manager for Evolve, talking about this complete Evolve rebuild and talking about the ways in which Evolve user experiences light years beyond what it's been so far. As our standalone content authoring tool, we know that Evolve has some of the most powerful features and collaboration capabilities of any content authoring tool on the market, but it was designed to be an advanced content authoring tool for pretty advanced users. And one of the pieces of feedback we heard about Evolve over the past several years was that the barrier to entry was pretty high. If you weren't already familiar with content authoring and kind of steeped in instructional design best practices, it can be difficult to get kind of harness the power of Evolve and create really compelling courses. But once you did that and you could start to see how logic and interactions and simulations kind of change the learning experience, the possibilities are almost limitless in terms of creating content with Evolve. So we wanted to help bridge that gap and say we want to offer a product for novice users to come in and build and design a course and know exactly kind of what they're building as they're building it. So much more kind of a what you see is what you get UX and UI, without compromising all of the powerful features that set Evolve apart from the rest of the pack. And so that is what we have done. We have relaunched Evolve. This new version is completely rebuilt. It's as easy to use as any of those other tools that are on the market, and it is maintaining that high level of power, that high level of standard that the existing Evolve has come to be known for. And we're shipping new features almost every week that reinforce that power. The new course format, from a back-end perspective, it's simpler, it's more linear. We thought of how to structure a course in a way that makes it possible for AI generative capabilities to become completely embedded within the course creation process. So we really designed this ground up rebuild of Evolve with AI in mind, saying, we've really got to start from scratch to be able to build something that's consumable by AI and able to be manipulated by AI as well. So while the initial launch, as you've seen on the slide here, kind of delivers basic course authoring functionality into your hands, coming really soon to Evolve are some of the more advanced features that have existed in the previous version. The ability to display courses inline in the Intellum platform, which is one of the greatest things about that, the integration between the two pieces. That's coming to the new Evolve here shortly. being able to build complex logic based off of learner interactions with your course content so that there's branching scenarios that can happen. That's going to be in the new Evolve here shortly as well. And again, if you're interested in learning more about this super powerful way to build courses, I would check out the launch webinar that we did previously last week. Or if you go to the Intellum website, find the Evolve page, you can sign up for a free trial there, a 21-day free trial, and that will get you set up with a new instance of the new Evolve, and you can start building courses right away, and you can see just how easy that is for yourself. And then over on the platform side, what we've been working towards, which is in a closed beta right now, is an AI agent that we're calling the Creator Agent. The Creator Agent uses your source content, wherever that lives. Flat files that you upload point out to Google Drive or OneDrive or wherever you're keeping your content. And the Creator Agent will take that, it will synthesize that source content and work iteratively with you to create learning objectives, lesson outlines, course content, assessment questions that are all linked together in a way that even some of the most robust learning teams have a hard time delivering on. So this means that your subject matter experts, your instructional designers, we think that you're going to be able to be 10 times more efficient with this Creator Agent as your sidekick, building content that is well structured, steeped in instructional design and learning science best practices, while staying in control of the process all the time. On Chip and Greg's earlier session, they talked about how this is a differentiated approach from what we're seeing in the market in other kind of content creation, generative AI approaches, which is where, yeah, you have source content, but it gets kind of stuffed into a black box, ground up in a little meat grinder, and then it spits out a hamburger, and you're like, I don't even like hamburgers. And then you have to start all over again, right? This is a completely different experience than that. We're not doing anything in a black box. You stay in control of the shape of the content, and you get to pivot and refine using AI as your sidekick all along the way. So it really is the best of AI and having human in the loop to make you more efficient in the work that you do, not to replace you as the expert, because you are the expert when it comes to instructional design and when it comes to your content. So what we hope that Creator Agent allows you to do is really scale your impact as an instructional designer and a content creator, while maintaining a high level of oversight and ensuring the accuracy of the course content, the learning objectives, the lessons that you're creating, the assessments that you're generating. So make you more efficient, keep the quality very, very high. And right now, Creator Agent is in a closed beta. So we are out there with some of our biggest customers and the folks that we know are really going to pressure test Creator Agent well. And they are taking it for a ride and giving us feedback. And we hope that we're going to be able to launch this very, very soon. So keep an eye out for Creator Agent. At this point, I've been talking a lot. So what I'd like to do is bring Nicole Woodward in and have her maybe demo some of the things that we just talked about as it pertains to this creator persona. So Nicole, I will let you go ahead and take it away from here.
Thank you, Anderson. So what we're looking at, team, right now is this new Evolve experience that we're super excited about. When you think about, the idea of maturing any of your content, maybe you've got a bunch of PDFs or documents, or you're going through some sort of content transformation, Evolve is a wonderful tool to go to, really easy to use. I'm going to take you through this. So, for example, one of the new things that we released is just an inline editor. So you don't have to go off to the side to make any changes to maybe some of the text or content, maybe images, or you can have videos in these courses as well. You can just simply select something like, for example, I selected the word fastest, I bolded it, underlined it, and now let me move on to the next edit that I want to make. This course has a lot of sections in it, and I can see that over on the side. And if I want to pop over to one of these sections and have it take me to that area rather than scrolling through, I can simply click on that section. So in this case, I had a couple of flip cards that I had also added into this Evolve course. There's different types of interactive components like flip cards and nice pulse checks and knowledge checks. And so I can see, I've got some text here, which I could edit. Of course, my editor again pops up for my to be able to make that change. I can, change colors really easily within this section too. I can see the different rows. And then if I want to go make a change to the background color, I could simply pop over here and say, okay, let's make this, we'll go ahead and make that more of maybe a lilac. That looks nice. Keeping in line with maybe the theme that we have for this course. So that's just a quick example of just really quick and easy way to, make this to make changes to this as you're trying to transform your content. Really easy to do using Evolve. So another important aspect too is the idea of, adding collaborators in. We don't want to just create content in a bubble. We want others taking a look at this and giving us some guidance. And so I've got a few of my colleagues that have been in here and they've added some comments. And what's nice about this is it's contextual. So they simply clicked on the element within the course, they added their comment, and now I can go in and make that change. Maybe it's, making the change to the image that's on that area, or someone saying, I'd rather you, change the color potentially of this area. So I can see Austin said color's great, but can we do blue instead? So of course I could go in and change the color, save it, and move on to the next thing. So really nice to have that collaborative built-in piece within Evolve as well. Another new piece to this too is just the ability to easily add themes into Evolve. So this is where we think about rinse and repeating this creation of content, where we don't have to think about the text font we want to use every time, or the specific colors, or the heading types, or even using some of the other interactive elements within Evolve. It's already in the template that I can use. So it's in this theme that I want to use. I can see my colors here. I can make any changes to any of this as well and change up the colors that way. So we want to make it really easy for you to just, especially any, people that aren't familiar with creating content, but we want to give them some access to maybe redo some of their PDFs or some other kind of content they've been working on using Evolve. We want to give them a quick and easy template to be able to use and do that. The other thing that we've brought in is just a very nice preview. So a realistic preview of what this course is going to look like once we've made all of our changes and edits in Evolve. I can kind of take a look at what this would look like from an actual student. And let's say, for example, you may not be liking these colors as much, so I can simply pop in, exit my preview, and go make a change to that element if I want to. Very easy to do. Okay. All right, team. So with that said, now I want to move over to our rapid content creator in Intellum. So I'm going to pop over to another example page within the Intellum platform itself. And I'm looking at the properties page of a course where I am trying to teach beginners the quantum of physics. I want to upload a bunch of resources into this course, and I just want it to give me a learning path to teach people the quantum physics for beginners example. This, of course, clearly is just an example, trying to take really complex topics and break it down into an accessible learning path. So, for example, in this course, what I've done is I've added just one source material. It's a pretty long one, it's about 100 pages, but I could add other sources. So I could come in here and I may want to take some activities that are already in the catalog that I've loaded. I may want multiple files or Google Drive documents, Microsoft OneDrive documents, whatever it might be. I can load this into the course. And what it gives me is I can have some learning objectives kind of given to me based on what this content is, as well as it kind of builds out this path, as well as the sections of this path, the kind of this learning path that it recommends based on the content, making it kind of like an assistant would do if you were to hand over a bunch of documents, tell them to read through it, put together a learning path. That's what this is really trying to do, and you can work with it and kind of ask it to change things up, or move content around, and it will of course make those adjustments. So if I also want to come into this particular course, so this is one of the learning activities, I can suggest content here, and my little chat bot will pop up. I've got an example here to show you. where I've said, "Hey, here's can you suggest some of the content within this activity?" And it gives me some sections and the text content doing that for me. That usually is some of the heavy lifting that you have to do when you're building content. Many times is some of that building out the text and what it's going to say in the course. So our creator chat here does that for you. You can accept it. And fun little tip here is that you can also have this translated for you by simply saying, translate this to Spanish. It'll take a minute or so. It will translate it and you can accept it at that point. So it's really interesting ways to, use the content creator to rapidly build content in Intellum and deploy it to your students. So now that we've seen a little bit of a high level of Evolve and the AI content creator and how it simplifies content creation, I want to jump back to Anderson and we're going to explore more ways on how we're making Intellum easier to manage.
Awesome. Thank you, Nicole, so much for showing us those two pieces. I think that those always show really well. And hopefully, if you're a content creator, that just got you pretty excited about what you can do with Evolve and what you're shortly going to be able to do with the Intellum platform. I want to turn next to that manager experience. This is one of the areas, again, that we're really trying to improve is to make it a lot easier for you to manage your learning programs and to manage learners from a small scale to maybe hundreds of thousands or millions of learners, which we do have customers that have millions of learners on a single instance of the Intellum platform. And we're kind of rebuilding in real time right here. And the approach that we're taking here is as we build out feature functionality that is new and different for the Intellum platform, for that admin experience, the manager experience, we're releasing that to an area called Intellum Labs. Intellum Labs is a centralized place for our clients to be able to opt into early access to features as we finish off their basic functionality. And it allows us to get these out into your hands sooner in a way that allows you to control when you're turning these things on. As you can see on the screenshot that's here, you can even enable these features for selected individual users within your instance or groups of users so that you're not turning something on for everyone within your Intellum instance before you're ready to do so. And it allows us to solicit feedback from you as well. So as we release a feature into Intellum Labs, we hope that you will turn it on in some capacity, experiment with us, give us feedback so that as we continue to make changes and developments, that we can incorporate that feedback into how these features function before they're released as generally available to the rest of Intellum clients. So if you're one of our clients right now and haven't started working with these features in Intellum Labs, I think that that's something that you should probably explore and talk to your account manager, your strategic relationship manager as part of that. What many of these features do when you turn them on in Intellum Labs is they turn on new tiles on the Manage homepage. This view that you're seeing right here, the Manage homepage, was something that was released at the beginning of 2025. And it really is a consolidated menu of options that an admin may have permission to see. Each of these tiles has its own permission sets. So if you're a restricted admin and you're only responsible for managing part of the LMS experience, you may not see all of these tiles because you're a restricted admin. If you're an unrestricted admin, you'll see all of the tiles that have been turned on for your instance. And you also have the ability to go toggle things on and off for your instance within Intellum Labs. So every section of the Intellum LMS is being rebuilt right now with new permissions, more finely grained control for you, and a new UX and UI. Overall, what we're trying to do here is reduce your reliance on permissioning people as unrestricted admins and making it easier for you to delegate responsibility safely while we are re-architecting each element of the Intellum platform. Again, in service of making it more consumable by AI and us being able to build AI into the very fabric of our products. So as you enable a feature that's been released in labs, it appears as a new tile on the Manage homepage. And I want to talk through now some of the tiles that have been released to date. So we'll go through some of these pretty quickly. These are all really core areas, but important areas of the Intellum platform. And we'll start with the enrollments tile. This gives managers a new centralized place to view and manage learner enrollments across all of the courses that they oversee. So as an unrestricted admin, you would see every enrollment within your instance of the Intellum platform. As a restricted admin, you would only see the enrollments for the courses and learners that you have permission to manage. Instead of having to drill into individual users or courses, the enrollments list, the enrollments tile here allows you to have a single list where you can search and filter and edit and even take bulk actions like sending letters or enrolling large groups of users into courses. And this page also starts to serve as a foundation for the manager AI agent, which we'll be talking about in just a moment, because these enrollments are now structured in one single place. So our AI is going to be able to interpret manager requests, and you'll be able to say things like, hey, enroll my direct reports into Q1 training. And the manager agent, as we'll see, will be able to do that action instantly. And it's because we're undertaking a rebuild with components like this. Our early adoption of the enrollments tile has been pretty strong. Hundreds of managers are already using this page since we've launched it, many of whom are using it almost as their primary destination for the LMS. It's almost a lightweight replacement for reporting when that reporting has to do with enrollments. Similarly, we have a new organizations tile. This moves organization management out of platform settings and into its own dedicated page within the Intellum platform experience. This gives clients more flexibility to delegate control over specific organizations. So restricted admins can now be given scoped access to edit or to manage specific organizations without requiring that unrestricted administrator full system admin rights. So when we talk to some of our large complex accounts, those that have dozens of business units with really kind of strict multi-tenancy, this has been a game changer because it reduces admin risk by allowing restricted admins to manage only their tenant organization, which then improves governance on their side. It makes it possible to make these kind of distributed teams work together more effectively. And this, again, is also standardizing our page structure so that we can bring AI-driven management capabilities to organizations faster as well. Similarly, the new letters tile gives our clients more flexibility to find and edit and control letters. We've also given restricted admins scoped access to be able to edit and manage specific letter templates. And for those of you who aren't yet Intellum platform users, letters are our custom emails that can be sent out and triggered directly from things like course enrollments, course completions, so that you can make sure that you're constantly in communication with your learners as they are getting activities assigned to them or completing activities. We've created a new tile that will be launching in just a few weeks. This is called the letters trigger tile. I was just talking about when you might want to utilize letters. This is the mechanism for how you actually automate sending those letters out to your learners. By splitting this out from the learner setting, or the letter settings tile that we were just looking at, we're introducing the capability to add a single letter trigger to multiple courses instead of having to kind of clone and duplicate that setup one by one, which reduces errors, saves time, and makes the communication workflow even more scalable. So again, this was kind of split out from the letter settings as part of this rebuilt LMS. It makes it faster to configure, easier to find, and again, it makes it kind of ready for AI-driven personalization capabilities in the near future. We've redesigned our users page and are launching that as a new tile. This is really to simplify the management and prepare again for that AI-assisted administration. Managers can, from this new users page, can take bulk actions, like you can edit the details or save a selected group of users without having to kind of click through one by one, which is the current experience. So this is a faster and cleaner page. It's aligned with the same kind of UI patterns as the rest of the rebuilt LMS components. And hopefully you're seeing that as we're going through. There are some similar elements in each of these screenshots that we're looking at, because it makes it better to have a consistent UI and UX experience as you're navigating from tile to tile. So we think that these updates to the users tile are going to improve everyday workflows. And it also is unlocking again this natural language filtering and AI powered user management that we're building here right now. And speaking of AI powered natural language filtering, we have a new custom AI filter that will be releasing initially to the enrollments list that's just going to allow you to express your filtering intent in natural language and let AI build that query for you. So, one of the pieces of feedback we've consistently received about our reporting is that it is some of the best reporting in the industry, the most granular reporting that you can almost possibly conceive of. But you really have to kind of know what all of the reporting fields are and options are to get the most power out of it. This new custom filter allows you to simply express what you're looking for in that little search bar up there. And it's going to then open a panel on the side, and you'll have an AI assistant that refines that query for you and applies all of the right parameters for that particular filter. Then you can save that query, you can save that custom filter and reuse that over and over again to simplify recurring searches. And there you can see what it looks like to have a custom filter applied up at the top there. So I know that was a lot. All of this is going to culminate in the release of a manager AI agent that will introduce a persistent AI prompt, something that allows managers to use natural language for common tasks. So imagine an AI assistant that rides along with you, the program administrator or the learning admin within the Intellum platform. And at any time, you can say something like, hey, just show me everyone on my team who's overdue for compliance training. And the system is going to know where to go in the platform to apply filters and pull that data back and then give you that data. And then you could even kind of add on to that and say, now send them a letter that reminds them to get their compliance training done by end of month. And it can write up the letter for you, including the correct recipients, the right personalized variables. And then all you have to do is approve that that gets sent out. We really think this is going to save you a lot of time, reduce a lot of your manual effort that you're expending right now on program management, and help you think more about the business outcomes you're trying to drive with Intellum products rather than how to slot in the time for administrative tasks. So a lot of these features you can get started using now by enabling them in Intellum Labs and starting to understand how they work individually. And then you're going to have even more confidence when the manager agent gets released because you will have been using the constituent components of that already, and you'll know you'll be able to predict how it's going to operate and cut down and reduce your workload as a result. So that was a lot. Nicole, I don't expect you to demonstrate every single one of those things, but maybe you can take us to a couple of the things that you'd like to highlight as you've been getting familiar with these new capabilities that we're shipping.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are continuing to modernize the admin experience and more importantly, trying to save our admins time for sure. And the couple of big spots that I wanted to point out where I think this could be super valuable right away if you want to play around with this in your portal, if you are a client of ours, is on the users page. This is one area, and enrollment. So I'm going to go over both of these. So on the users page, you can simply type in a keyword. Maybe if you are looking for somebody specifically, you can type in their name. You can type in org. It's going to find individuals based on that as well. You have a couple of filters up here where you may be looking for maybe all of your restricted admins, and might want to make a change to their roles potentially. Those are, I could take some batch actions here. This kind of feels very similar. This is really kind of where we're headed in a lot of these pages where it's very informational. It feels like a little bit of a report where I can filter for certain things, like on the users page when someone last logged in. But then I also want to take some batch actions on this area too. I don't want to have to go somewhere else to do that. Why not just do it on the page I'm on when I'm dealing with users and wanting to make some changes? So you can see here, I can go in and I can make an update if I wanted to quickly change someone's a batch of people or someone's role. This is just an example of the way that I could do that in a batch action right on this user's page. Now, some other things I can do, I may want to save individuals to a group, add them to a group, send them a letter, assign them to a different organization, deactivate their account. And I can also look at them one by one by going over here to the little dots over here on the side and doing something similar, just one off for each individual. So, really nice modernized interface here, this experience for users to give you some information and centralize all of your users while also giving you the ability to take some action on these users all within one place. And like Anderson mentioned before, we also have additional permissioning for restricted admins that, only certain people, you can give them permission basically to have access to this page and only the certain groups of people that they need access to. So we've got stronger permissioning around this area too, to really help you scale, especially if you're looking at this as an enterprise level platform. We want you to be able to scale in that way. So that's an example of that, of adding that in. So now I want to pop over to our enrollments page. And this is where we really want to centralize all enrollments within Intellum. And if I want to, again, use this as information, but also maybe filter this by, let's say I have a Zentech. This is just a fictitious product in this demo portal here, but I've got a, Zentech certification that's going on that I've assigned to different individuals. And I may want to just, change the due date. I can see everybody that's been enrolled, when they were enrolled in this certification. And now I want to go in and edit and change the due date to maybe something like next Thursday. I can go ahead and update the enrollments at this point. I'll get a little pop up that lets me know that, ever how many enrollments have been changed. So I'm able to do that, as well as some other things like sending letters, copying the email addresses, and being able to add enrollments from this area as well very easily, or import enrollments too. So multiple things that you're able to do on this page, and do it in batch. So giving you information, giving you filters to really dig into this information, and then being able to take a batch action. We want to do that in a centralized place through enrollments too. So, want to talk a little bit more about the custom filter. Got an example here for us to take a look at. So when I, select my custom filter, this is something you can go turn on in Labs, by the way, and play around with. But what I'll be able to do is I can put in the little chat, I'm looking for people, and this is an example where I said, show me training due in the next 30 days. It said, great, let me process this information. It filtered it for me and then showed me the 3 people that are due in the next 30 days. It could have been a list of 3, could have been a list of 500. But it's going to pull up exactly what you're telling it in natural language that, hey, I'm looking for this group of users. And so you just type that in and it's going to filter it for you. So just another example of where we're trying to help save you time. So you can use that AI custom filter and use it, be smarter with the way you're trying to look for enrollments and pull those things up like you would in a report, but, of course, using the AI to be able to do that for you. Okay. So back to you, Anderson. I think we're going to discover a little bit more about what's coming for our learners.
Yes, thanks, Nicole. And I love that you're able to show the AI custom filter. I mean, I think that's really kind of the first fruits of what the manager agent experience is going to be like, is this ability to just tell the platform what you needed to do. And then the platform is, the manager agent is the expert in the platform itself and will execute all of those things for you. I will say that as of today, when we're having the ELG Summit, the AI custom filter is not yet available in Intellum Labs. That's coming very, very soon, soon enough that we can go ahead and show it to you here. So if you're kind of playing along at home and you're looking for that in Intellum Labs, you won't see it quite yet, but that is coming very, very soon. Yeah, let's look at what we're doing for the learner experience, what we've shipped this year, and where we're headed with that. One of the things that we launched earlier this year was a new area within the learner experience called My Learning. And you can see in the screenshot there that it is accessible from the nav bar if you choose to turn it on for your customers in the navigation bar. But this is really, it's an engaging and I think much more personalized experience and replacement for something that used to be called the My Plan page, which really kind of like ordered things by quarters, and was fairly static in your the options that you had to display courses that your learners should be engaging with. Really what we do here in My Learning is we've consolidated a learner's favorite courses, the history of courses they've taken, the skills that they've acquired, credentials that they've earned through your instance of the Intellum platform into a single learner hub, and added a new section called Up Next. This is a feature that dynamically and algorithmically prioritizes required and recommended and self-enrolled courses into one single list with the most important things to complete up on top. It also removes clutter by automatically hiding completed enrollments, but still keeping those accessible in that history tab that's a few clicks down. So for learners, we think that this is going to make it pretty simple for them to see exactly what matters at any point in their journey. And for admins, you'll see that this is going to drive higher completion rates for things like compliance and certification courses and programs, keeping that critical training visible and top of mind. And since we released this, the early receipts are pretty good. Our data shows that learners who are using Up Next in My Learning are completing recommended and required enrollments at a rate of almost 40%. And that's about double the 20% rate for active learners who are not using Up Next and My Learning. So real kind of uplift in value here of helping learners complete the things that they should be completing on time and moving their learning progress forward. One of the big steps forward that we're about to release in the next couple of weeks, next few weeks or so, is AI content recommendations for your learners. This is kind of the first big step forward in our AI native learner experience. You might remember, some of you have been around Intellum products a little bit, an earlier personalized learning feature. That was a super valuable proof of concept for us. It helped us to learn what worked and, more importantly, what didn't work with serving up personalized learning content recommendations. With this AI content recommendations, the recommendations for content that a learner should be working on appear instantly inside of My Learning in that Up Next area, without them having to set up a profile. They don't have to fill out any forms. The system uses the existing learner data, so things like the learner's job title and learning history, other enrollments and their that they might have, to personalize the content recommendations automatically. It's looking at what they have available to them in the course catalog, the context of those courses in the course catalog, and marrying all that information with in a dynamic chat that it undertakes with the learner. So it asks the learner a little bit about, well, what are you even trying to learn about? And based off of their inputs and what it knows about the learner and what it knows about your course catalog, these AI content recommendations surface. And then when a person decides they're going to accept those content recommendations, those are added to their Up Next area as elected enrollments and prioritized appropriately. So it's always going to deliver relevant content, eliminates friction for learners who are like, what should I work on next? And we think it will boost engagement with providing contextual and action-ready suggestions. And what you're seeing in that screenshot on the right there is that new experience in action, directly embedded in the Up Next tab. It's also accessible from the Learner Search catalog as well. So they'll have a traditional search bar where you can kind of search for courses by keyword. But just as we're seeing in other areas and products within LLMs and things, the way people search for content is different now. And you really want to be able to have some sort of dynamic recommendation rather than just keyword search. And so you're able to have that, to access that experience through Learner Search as well, with AI content recommendations turning on. So again, this is not live yet. This is something that's going to come to Intellum Labs within the next few weeks. So you'll be able to turn that on for your learners or test it out in an instance yourself. And this is all kind of culminating and rapidly building towards a dedicated learner agent, where this personalized context-aware tutor can ride along with each of your learners, accompanying them through their entire learning journey, all the way from selecting courses to engaging with the content that's on the screen. They need to ask questions about that or understand a concept a little differently. The learner agent will be able to help them with that. Even assessments, a learner's taking an assessment, they get a question wrong and they're not sure why. Learner agent can help unpack that for them. And of course, as we just seen, it can help them choose what to learn next. So we're really excited about this really customized, personalized tutor that's going to be coming out with the learner agent, and creating a tutoring experience that will scale for every learner and help you deliver better outcomes without adding staff or cost. Nicole, let me bring you back in, and maybe you can show us a few of the things that have impressed you about what we've shipped for the learner so far this year. And then after you do that, I think we'll still have some time for some of the great questions that have been coming in through the Q&A box. If you haven't submitted a question yet and you'd like to, you can do that using the Q&A module below. But I'll turn it over to Nicole for a few minutes here.
Yes, absolutely. So, team, we are looking at now my learning. This is the area where we just went over in great detail what is, our kind of goals and strategy around this and how it's impacted our customers that have turned this on. And so you can see here I'm looking at up next. And what this is meant to be is kind of like it's like a Netflix or a Hulu, where the next episode, the thing that is coming due, very soon, or something that the student had just started, it's surfacing those things up to them as up next. So even the courses out of a learning path, it's going to surface those things versus just the path itself. That way, they know exactly where to start and keep going within those modules and those courses. So this is an example of that. If we favorite courses, we're going to see that in the favorites. We're going to see our history. We're also going to see any credentials that we've earned over time, being able to print those off if we need to, any skills we've earned. So it's all centralized here within the My Learning area. So if I want to also have it suggest to me what's next, of course I can select that. And again, just giving you a quick little taste of what this looks like. Takes a second to just kind of think about it's going to ask you some questions as a student. What kind of skills would you be looking to upskill in? What's your role? Or really understanding your role, and kind of asking about other skills you'd like to learn more about, and training that you might be interested in. And so here's an example here of where I said, okay, so it says, hi, tell me a little bit about your background. What would you like to learn? And this will continue. We are adding to this. It will continue to get smarter as it goes. And told it I want to learn more about the product Fusion, which is just a fictitious product in my demo portal, but I wanted to ask it about, learning more about that product that is offered. And so then it gave me several different courses that I might be interested in, which I can then accept and get added to my learning and show up in up next, where I can continue taking it as soon as I log in the next time. I'm going to see those front and center. I could also say, you know what, I want to learn more about customer service. I'm looking to upskill in that area, and it would recommend content based on that. So this is something that we're rolling out, as Anderson said. We're excited about this and the potential that this has. Also, want to show you too that this also will show up if I go and want to search up here in the top corner, right next to topics. If I want to go search for any content, I'm going to see recommended items. And if it's, I'm like, none of this is really, I'd like to be recommended something different. You can always have it suggest what's next, answer a couple of questions, and it will, of course, surface content that would be interesting to you as a student. So excited about this to come. Wanted to showcase my learning. It's out there ready to be used. So if you're a client of ours, you can certainly look into labs and turn that on, and especially for your learners, and everyone can kind of play around with it and get used to this new My Learning experience.
Awesome. Thanks, Nicole. All right, so we've kind of come to that time where I think we have a few minutes left for questions. I know we're kind of running tight on time. So Audrey, I know you've been paying attention to the questions as they've been coming in. So maybe there are a couple of questions. I'll let you kind of choose from those and kind of keep us on track for time here, and we'll see what we can get through.
That's right. Okay, thank you. Thank you to all who did submit a question. As Anderson mentioned, we do have about 5 minutes remaining. So with that, I'm going to read off maybe 3 or 4 questions just to give adequate time and let you all be on your way. So let's see here. The first question, how will the changes affect our existing setup? Do we need to migrate content, retrain admins, or change workflows?
Fair question, right? Because that's a lot of changes that we're kind of showing. I think I would start with saying that most of the updates that we're making are additive. They're designed to minimize your disruption to your current workflows and work with your existing content. So we want those to continue to stay the same as they always have, even as we're working to improve them and make them better, right? To make content creation better, make your admin workflows more efficient. For the various tile things that we were showing, those kind of serve as the backbone of the Intellum rebuild. And as we showed earlier, you can opt into those in labs when they're ready. So you can turn them on, turn them off at your own pace, restrict them to a subset of your users. Overall, if you start turning those things on, I think you're going to see a faster interface. You're going to find ways of streamlining your workflows, but I don't think that like it requires a radical departure from what you're doing now. Or a lot of these are really intuitive updates, and so I don't think you have to go through big retraining. Maybe there's some change management and documentation on your end that needs to be updated, but again, being able to opt into this stuff in labs will help you get ahead of that change management documentation that needs to happen. So we think that's an advantage of kind of pivoting to labs. Gives you a pretty generous window there.
Thanks, Anderson. Okay, 2 minutes on the clock. One more question. Will any of these new capabilities require additional licensing or fee?
Okay, I will take that one. I thought that a question about that might come up. The majority of what we've shown today, my learning, enrollments, organizations list, the AI custom filtering, content recommendations, all of that stuff is included as part of the core Intellum platform. And as you just saw, like you can go in today and start turning those things on within labs, and it's not going to change your contract terms. It's not going to result in some sort of surprise charge because we want to get these features out into the wild and to get that feedback, as Nicole was just saying, on those things.
Okay, that brings us to the hour mark. I want to say thank you so much, Anderson and Nicole, for just taking us through that whole walkthrough and providing us with such thorough content. So for all of you who joined us, I hope you enjoyed this session. I hope you're able to take something away and you're excited about digging into the new features and capabilities within both the Evolve and Intellum platform. So with that, we hope to see you in the next session and cheers.